Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So as a lot of you will already know, Solana is up massively. It's up over 300% over the last 30 days. And like I've shared with you guys, I was lucky enough to enter a good position at around the high 20s and low 30s. So my cost base is around the $29, $30 mark. And now Solana is sitting at $143. But what this makes it difficult to do is build out a bigger position, because as it keeps pumping, it becomes more difficult to build out your position, right? Because you're like, oh, you get attached to your cost basis of the $30. But one thing you can do is start to look at the other complementary projects on that platform, which will rise in solidarity with the level 1 chain that is Solana. So that's what I want to do in this video, is look at the top 5 projects I've identified as being worthy of our attention, which we should be looking at to seeing if we should be building a position in each of these 5 projects. So let's take a look. And you can see there, Solana is up 326% over the last 30 days. Okay, so my first project I want to touch upon is Serum. Okay, it's Serum. Now, if you look at CoinMarketCap, we'll see that Serum is sitting at $9.52. Its high for the year is $12.89, and you can see it's been on an absolute tear. And a lot of these you will see have been rising in correlation with Solana, which is exactly what we want. Now, what I'm not suggesting in this video to do is chase any of these. I've just identified these as the ones which are moving with Solana, and then our work needs to begin of identifying good entry points for these and waiting for dips in order to build out our positions if we have high conviction in these. So let's look at Serum on DeFi Llama. We can see that there's 572, that's $500 million of total value locked. Now, what Serum is a decentralized exchange. It's focused on low speeds and fast speeds and low transaction costs, and it's actually interoperable with Ethereum, so you can do cross-chain swaps with this. And the beautiful thing about this is existing DeFi projects built on Ethereum can easily leverage Serum without having to move across. So they can use the liquidity on Serum and all the features of Serum, which is on the Solana blockchain, even though they're still on their native blockchain in Ethereum. So very smart. The other thing I noticed on Serum, which I want to look more into, is they seem to be trying to build an interesting feature which allows for dispute resolutions. So if they had this example of somebody having a smart contract, and somebody promising Ethereum for exchange for Bitcoin, and there being a dispute resolution where Solana can act like an intermediary. And that almost reminded me of Alipay in China, PayPal in the US. When you started first having these digital payments, we needed these escrow funds which allow you to resolve these issues. So it's really good we're seeing Serum working on this project. So definitely one to be looking out for, Serum token SRM. And just to remind you that this one, it's sitting at 952. And again, this has really shot up, so I wouldn't recommend chasing this one. It was sitting at 9, and we're climbing up quite fast. But the yearly all-time high is 1289. So we've still got room to get to all-time highs. Okay, number 2, we're going to be looking at Radium. Okay, so Radium is sitting at $13.15. It's up 12%. And again, this one shot up quite nicely. But this is something we want to put on our radar. Again, coming to DeFi Llama, this is the biggest DeFi project on Solana. It's got 1.24 billion locked. I mean, that's a massive amount, and it's a big proportion of all the Solana DeFi is locked into Radium. Now, again, Radium is almost your Uniswap of Solana. Okay, so it's a decentralized exchange, a DEX for DeFi, and it helps you. It has liquidity pools. You can do your yield farming on there. Obviously, you can trade your tokens, and you've got yield accelerators as well. So exactly what you'd expect from a Uniswap, that's what you're going to see here with Radium. Now, if we look at this over here, you can see Radium has an all-time high of $16.36, and you can see it's sitting at $13.13. So Radium's doing really well and has shot up really nicely. So that's impressive from Radium. Now, moving on, the third one we want to look at is Audius. Audius, you may have heard of this one because they came out with a massive partnership with TikTok. Now, Audius is like a decentralized Spotify, and they're completely built on the Solana blockchain. And almost what they're trying to do is, well, what they are doing is they are a decentralized network for artists to be able to monetize their music direct to end users. So they're cutting out the middleman. You don't need to be signed to a record label or a producer, and it's a really smart platform. And again, that TikTok partnership, if we go back to look at the price, you can see that TikTok partnership got announced around here, and it just rocketed up. So you can see it's already had a pump up. I wouldn't suggest chasing it just now, but you can still see we're still off our yearly highs of $4.99 to $2.90. So interesting trend on Audius, and definitely a good use case being built on the Solana blockchain. So excited to look at Audius and trying to see if I can build a position on that. Next, moving on to our fourth project, it's Mango Markets. And again, another DeFi project. And you're going to see a lot of DeFi projects on here because that is how blockchains level 1 start out. If you look at how Ethereum started out, it started off with the Uniswaps and the Aves and these kind of platforms, and then it builds out to other NFT use cases and interesting cases. But it's good to see we already had Audius, but Mango Markets is another automated market maker. So it's another AMM. It's focused on lightning fast, near zero fees, and you can trade derivatives on there as well. So you're going to get a whole bunch of different derivatives on there. If you click on here, you'll see there's futures, decentralized lending, liquidator program, market making, and they can do the merch as well. Okay, so interesting one to keep an eye on here. And coming back to DeFi Llama, interestingly, 32 billion in locked value, and you can see how that has spiked. It was only a little while ago we were 16 in locked in value, and it's jumped up to 32. And these grow quick. If you remember anything from Ethereum, or if you missed the run up of the DeFi apps on Ethereum, just go check out the total value locked in Ethereum projects right now. Go look at the equivalents of these projects on Ethereum, and that will give you an idea of the comparables of where these Solana based projects could be running to if Solana starts catching up with Ethereum. And that's what you've got here. Okay, and coming on to the last one, the fifth and final project we want to be looking at on Solana is Saber. So Saber, again, automate an AMM, but this time it's cross-chain. Okay, so this time Saber is a DeFi's cross-chain liquidity network. So you can cross-chain between Ethereum, between other blockchains, and it's really powerful. So if I just look at the total value locked on this one, it's almost sitting at $1 billion. Okay, so to put that into perspective, let's just go into chains here, and we'll click on Solana. You will see Saber is second after Radium, which is at 1.24 billion. Nearly at $1 billion. Saber is the second largest value by total project by total value locked on the Solana blockchain. And just look at the Solana blockchain overall. You can see very clearly here how quickly it's growing. You've got almost 4 billion in locked value. That's changed 6% in just the last 24 hours. So Solana is super hot right now, and Saber is a really interesting platform to take advantage of. Now you can see the kind of backing that Saber has. Jump Capital, Multicoin, Race Capital, a lot of big funds here. But most interestingly, you've got Social Capital, which is the fund by Chamath Palihapitiya. So definitely a very credible investor, and if he's backed into this, you know he switched on in terms of Bitcoin. He was early into Bitcoin, he knows what he's doing, and he's a backer of this project. So there you go, guys. Those are the top 5 projects I would suggest we start looking at on the Solana blockchain. So just to recap, you've got Serum, you've got Radium, you've got Audius, you've got Mango, and you've got Saber. I think that's a really good start to look into the Solana blockchain. And remember, what's the point of this? Solana is on everybody's lips right now, so naturally that price is going to pump. So we need to find these complementary projects which are going to run with Solana. Solana won't just run on its own. It'll run by these projects gaining momentum and gaining notoriety and popularity. That's exactly what happened with Ethereum, and that's exactly what will happen here. As OpenSea, as Uniswap, as these platforms started to gain more popularity on Ethereum, that's when Ethereum could grow. And the same is true for Solana. So definitely some projects for you guys to look at. Hope you found this useful. If you want to see a deeper dive into any of those, because I know we just touched the surface, then comment below and we can do a dedicated video on any one of those projects. Thanks for watching the video. We'll see you in the next one.